If it was one thing I enjoyed while growing up in the hood, it was listening to old heads talk about their past.
No fuck on my porch.
So working at the prison, I will always gravitate to the officers who had worked their entire adult life as a correctional officer. And one thing they will all talk about is how they would run into inmates in the streets. Most of these correctional officers had worked at the prison for at least 15 years, and I kid you not, every single one of them had an interesting story about seeing an ex-con in public. See, these stories made me realize how important it was to treat inmates while they were in your custody, because you never knew when you'll see them again. The crazy thing is, I will always overhear inmates say, "I'm not going back to my hometown. That's where all the trouble is. I'm going to get out and live in Tallahassee." In my head, I would think, oh shit, am I really going to see these inmates in my city for real? Listen, I'm a woman with integrity, and I try my damn best to do right by all people. But some of those inmates, they really tried it. They really asked for the mean black woman to come out. And some days, I gave it to them. I had to show them I was about business and put my foot down. See, working at an all-male prison, I had to deal with the lover boys, the always angry, the hustlers, the grandpas who always complain, the alphas, the wrongly convicted, and my favorite, the comedians. Leaving work, I will always be mentally exhausted from just counseling grown-ass men all damn day. But then there were the comedians, the inmates who will make you laugh at a drop of a dime. And baby, one thing about me, I love to laugh. And once some of the inmates caught wind of that, they made it their business to make me laugh on a regular. Y'all know just how there is one class clown in every class? It was one clown in every dorm. And in my dorm, it was Mr. Williams. Mr. Williams was about 45 years old with damn near all of his teeth missing, sporting a short cut with a few grays in his beard, and weighing about 182 pounds. He was the most funniest man I have ever met in my entire life. He was a natural at it, and once I realized he wasn't trying to be funny and that he just was, I made it my business on every occasion to give him some encouraging words. One day I said, "Mr. Williams, you are so damn funny, man. You know, you could really work for Tyler Perry. All you gotta do is get out and audition. You will do so good on one of his shows or in his movies. You know that?" He said, "Miss Todd, you really think so?" "I know so, Williams. The way the jokes roll off your tongue and how they are so relatable, you'll fit in perfectly with his cast." Oftentimes, I would come in and without delay, he would come to the officer station window and say something so hilarious, I damn near rolled out of my chair from laughing. He didn't care that all of his teeth was missing either. That mouth stayed wide open, telling jokes. Over the course of time, I asked William, why was he in prison? And even though I could look it up myself, I would always prefer at times to hear the inmates tell me out of their own mouth. He said, "You know, Miss Todd, it's nothing too serious. Just the sale of coke. Over and over and over. And I mean over and over." He said, "I am a repeated offender, but that's about it. Me being funny my damn self." I said, "So you must have done some of that coke your damn self. You ain't got no teeth in your mouth." Williams laughed so hard and said, "Miss Todd, I see you got jokes, don't you? Don't make me get on you now." LOL. Once I got time, I did look up Williams' charges, and he was telling the truth, minus one little thing. But what really got my attention while looking up his charges was that he committed all of his crimes in Tallahassee, which only led me to believe he was born and raised in a good old Tallahassee, aka Tallanasty. I was shocked because most of the inmates were from down south, and this was the first inmate that I met who was local. I told inmates I was from Cali, and I just moved to Tallahassee for college. That was my little lie I told to keep inmates out of my business. One day I asked Williams, "So where are you planning to stay when you get out? I see that you are from Tallahassee." "Yeah, Miss Todd, I'm going to get out and do right this time. But I plan on staying with a cousin until I get on my feet, you know." I said, "Okay, well, I better not see you back in this place. You hear me now? If I'm coming back, Miss Todd, it's only to make you laugh and get on your nerves." One thing about working at the prison is you'll be working in the same dorm for months. Then all of a sudden, you'll be moved to another dorm. And that's exactly what happened to me. I no longer was working in the same dorm as Williams, but I would see him periodically around the prison, and he would always yell across the gates and say, "Hey, what's up, Miss Todd? When you come back to work in our dorm? It ain't the same without you." And my answer will always be the same. Y'all know I don't have a choice. I go where they tell me, but y'all better be behaving yourselves. A couple of months had flown by, and I ended up back in my old dorm. And as soon as I walked in, Williams was at the front door looking like he was about to pass out. He said, Miss Todd, can you please escort me to medical? I'm feeling so sick." "Well, why didn't the officers take you on their shift?" "I'm just coming in, Williams." "Damn." "I don't know, Miss Todd, but they said they would send somebody to come get me. But they had me standing in the hallway just waiting, saying they would take me after count, but nobody came to escort me." "Okay, Williams, let me put on my equipment and I'll take you down to medical myself. Go put on your blues and have your ID ready." I ended up taking him to medical, and I knew he was very ill because he didn't crack not one joke or say too much on the walk there. Once we made it to medical, we waited on a nurse. She eventually came in and asked him a few questions and took his temperature. "Oh, you're running a fever. Let me test you for COVID," she said. And yes, he tested positive for COVID. The nurse said he would have to be moved immediately to another dorm so that he can be isolated for 2 weeks with the other positive inmates. Williams said, Ma'am, I'm about to get out in a week. I'm not about to be in prison for an extra week just because of some damn COVID." Me and the nurse shook our head and laughed. Another officer came and got Williams and escorted him to another dorm. Before leaving, I said some words. "Listen, William, when you get out, do the right thing, man. Stay on the right path. I know you can do it. And you know what? Go be famous. Go be famous. The famous comedian I know you can be." And that was my last time seeing Williams until I ran into him on the streets. By this time, I had quit my job as a correctional officer, and I was not working at all, just trying to do YouTube and sell clothes online. Not in a million years I thought I would run into Williams. Hell, I even forgot about him. So it was about 7 p.m. and I was driving to the other side of town to go to this little convenience store that I love so much because they had the best slushies. I was looking at a hot mess, but I didn't care because I was going to run in and out. I got to the store and my car was literally the only one there, and it was a chubby guy posted up outside. I ran inside and got my slushie and headed back to my car. As I opened my car door, I hear a guy say, "Hey, Miss Todd." I looked back and didn't recognize the person and said, "Hey, who are you?" He said, "It's me, Williams." I said, "No way." He said, "No, for real, it's me." So I said, "Let me see your ID." He pulled out his Florida Department of Corrections inmate ID, y'all. And there it said, Williams. I said, "What's up? Boy, you done lost a lot of weight. I barely recognize you. Where is your real ID? Not your prison ID." We both laughed and he said, "I don't know why I still carry this thing around like I'm still in prison. But what's good with you, Miss Todd?" "Nothing much. You know, I don't work at the prison anymore. I quit a while back." "Oh, for real? You know you was one of the best officers out there." "I know, but I wasn't planning on being an officer forever. It was just something to do. You feel me?" So we talked for about 5 minutes and I said, "Well, it's good seeing you. You take care of yourself and stay out of trouble." He then asked me for a ride up the road and I politely said, "Williams, now you know you are not getting in my car. And plus I have my piece loaded under the seats." And you a convicted felon, which means you can't even be around these type of weapons. He said, I understand, Miss Todd. No pressure, no pressure. I then said, you want something out of the store before I leave? Hell yeah. You gonna buy me some cigarettes too? He said. I said, no, nigga. But I'll buy you a few snacks. And he was cool with that. It was visible that Williams was back in the streets, living the life that always got him back in prison. He was extremely small and he was on foot. I didn't judge him though. Sometimes people are a product of their environment and can never make that full 360, no matter how talented they are. I spent about $20 on snacks for Williams, and on the way out, I said, hey, let's take a picture. People aren't really going to believe I ran into you, so I need proof. I asked the chubby guy who was standing outside to take a pic of us, and he was like, hey bro, Williams, how you know her? And he said, oh, Miss Todd? She was the coolest correctional officer at the prison where I was locked up at. We said our goodbyes, and as I drove off, I got a little sad because deep down, I had a little hope that maybe one day I would see Williams on the big screen, not walking the streets of Tennessee. But my mom will always say, baby, you can see the potential in people, but sometimes they have to see it for themselves.